Good evening. Welcome to the South River Mayor and Borough Council meeting number 2 on January 9th, 2023. I hereby call this meeting to order. Statement of notice of publication. Madam Clerk.
In compliance with Chapter 231 of Public Law of 1975, notice of this meeting to be held at the Criminal Justice Building, 61 Main Street, South River, or remotely via Zoom, has been published in the Home News Tribune on January 6, 2023, posted on the Municipal Building Bulletin Board, the Borough website, and the front door of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River.
Roll call.
Mayor Krenzel.
Here.
Councilwoman Ballas.
She'll be absent.
Councilman Gindi.
Here.
Councilman Kurczynski.
Here.
Councilwoman Mira.
Here.
Councilman Oliveira.
Here.
Council President Ciula.
Here.
Please stand for the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. Please be seated. We have a proclamation today concerning our library. Whereas the South River Library was established on January 12, 1923, and whereas on January 12, 2023, the library will celebrate its 100th birthday, and whereas the Borough of South River joins with its library in celebrating the library's mission of education, entertainment, and service to the community, and whereas the Borough and the library look forward to the next 100 years of the library's support for the people of South River, now therefore I, John M. Krenzel, Mayor, along with the members of the Council of the Borough of South River, do hereby proclaim the 12th day of January 2023 as the 100th anniversary of the South River Public Library in the Borough of South River, given under my hand and seal of this day. There's going to be a special celebration at the library on January 12th, and the public is invited, so please come and celebrate. That's right, the time is 6:30. Thank you, Mr. Gindi. Also, something a little different just came rather quickly, did not make the agenda. Proclamation of condolence. Whereas Archpriest Sergius Kaharski served the community of South River as pastor of Saints Peter and Paul Russian Orthodox Church from 1976 to 1998, and whereas Reverend Kaharski was integral in contributing to the spiritual and physical wellness of not only his church, but also all the people of South River, and whereas the Borough of South River has lost one of its citizens who by living in the borough made it a better place, now therefore I, John M. Krenzel, Mayor of South River, offer the Borough of South River's sincerest condolences to the family of Reverend Kaharski and the parishioners of Saints Peter and Paul Russian Orthodox Church at the passing of Archpriest Sergius Kaharski. We send our condolences to the family and to the parishioners there of Saints Peter and Paul. Reverend Kaharski was just a wonderful, wonderful man there, and so on behalf of the town, we offer our condolences. We do not have anything for the agenda session, but we will go into close at the end of the meeting. We have ordinances, first reading by title only. Ordinance 2023, number 1. Madam Clerk.
Ordinance 2023-1, an ordinance amending an ordinance fixing the salary ranges of certain borough officers and employees in the Borough of South River.
Your pleasure on the ordinance.
Mayor, I move that the council pass ordinance 2023-1 on its first reading by title only, and the clerk be authorized to publish the same as required by law, with a second reading and public hearing to be held at a meeting at 7 p.m. on January 23rd, 2023, by video conference via Zoom or in the council chambers of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River, New Jersey.
Second that.
The ordinance has been moved by Council President Ciula, seconded by Mr. Gindi. Roll call.
Councilman Gindi.
Yes.
Councilman Kurczynski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira.
Yes.
Councilman Oliveira.
Yes.
Council President Ciula.
Yes.
2023-2.
2023-2, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Borough of South River, Chapter 193, entitled Vehicles and Traffic, by amending Section 193-31.1, Schedule 2A, handicap parking thereof.
Your pleasure on the ordinance.
Mayor, I move that the council pass ordinance 2023-02 on its first reading by title only, and the clerk be authorized to publish the same as required by law, with a second reading and public hearing to be held at a meeting at 7 p.m. on January the 23rd, 2023, by video conference via Zoom or in the council chambers of the Criminal Justice Building at 61 Main Street, South River, New
I'll
Jersey.
second that.
Moved by Council President Anthony Ciula, seconded by Mr. Gindi. Roll call.
Councilman Gindi,
Yes.
Councilman Kurczynski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira,
Yes.
Councilman Olivera,
Yes.
Council President Siula.
Yes.
Okay, just those two. Then we go into our reports. Good evening, Mr. Koch.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The 2020 and 2021 roadway improvements, no real change in that. It's just punch list items. 2022, the contractor did start some work, but when spring rolls around, they can get back at it. 2023, we submitted a proposal to the governing body for that. When you're ready to move ahead, let us know. The substation, the SCADA system is on its way. Some of the components are here, and the work is beginning on that. And well number 2 replacement, the contractor's ordering materials. It's about 3 months out, but we sent a letter to the DEP, and they have given us an extension until September. So we're in good shape there. And that is it. Any questions?
I do, Bruce.
Yes.
2021 roadways, Ferris Street between Cleveland Ave and Darrow Street. A few weeks ago, it got really cold and it froze over there. And this is, brand new road, and now all that water is piling up.
Do you know an address it's coming from by chance? If not, I'll be in town tomorrow. I'll take a ride by.
I drove by before coming here today, and I actually have pictures from the resident who sent it to me.
Okay.
It's still wet, and I don't know if the pitch was done, something's wrong with the pitch, or why the water isn't going anywhere
Every
over
sump
there.
pump connection we find, we connect. So I can't tell you if that something changed. I'll gladly look at it, but we make a point. I walk roads just to make sure. Age found one. He called me. We ran 90 feet of pipe to pick it up. So it's not,
Okay, it was, I believe it was Ferris and Colfax.
Okay.
There. My other question, I know with the milling and paving, it was
Yes.
something, when I had this conversation with my husband, he brought up, a lot of the times the catch basins catch a lot of the milling.
uh-huh.
Do we know if we require our
Yeah.
contractors to clean them
Yeah.
before?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's one of our items we check for.
okay.
Yes.
All right, so if you could just look at that one, if you want me to send you the pictures that I got as
Have one.
well.
If not, I'm going to be in town tomorrow. I'll go over there.
Okay.
All righty.
And that was it. And I also wanted to ask the status of what you looked at on Prentice and Olszewski.
We went out and took a look. Let me grab my stuff there, but there's a big pipe in Cam Avenue. There's 2 sump pumps. I don't have the addresses, but up near Cam Avenue. And it looks like, I can't tell without doing test pits to see what the other utilities are, if we could get past them. But it looked like we could put a catch basin and run backwards towards Cam Avenue, because there's a 48-inch pipe, got to be about 10 feet in the ground, would you say, H? That 48 is very deep. Might be able to go back pitch, pick those 2 up, which are probably the 2 biggest contributors to that icing down at the corner.
Do you think the sump pump is closer to Cam? The sump pump that you're saying is
Yes.
closer to Cam?
Yes.
Okay. So why do we feel like, I know you're talking about there, but the water's running all the way to Prentice. Is that where you're saying where to put the catch basin? Because the big pond of water is really more at Prentice.
So- I agree, but there's been no action on it, and I think it's because of the cost. So I thought I would try to look at it kind of out of the box, if you will, and see if there's a less expensive method to take out the 2 biggest contributors that are causing a problem. It's not to say what down at the bottom would be all cured, but there are 2 sump pumps that run, and I watched one run, and there is a heavy flow of water that comes out of it. So I was just trying to find an alternative method to address it, because we've probably been talking about it since
2018.
2018. So I just thought, let me think outside the box and see if we could go backwards, which is not conventional. But if you could do something for $30,000 and significantly improve the situation, perhaps that would be something you would entertain.
Okay,
So that was the only reason I did that.
okay. And would that be in our 2023?
That's a question I can't answer. I think that would be a governing body question. I think, if there's others, you may want to look at the isolated locations where there are stuff and maybe group them and roll them into a bigger project, but maybe pick a handful or whatever and try to cure them. But keep in mind, somebody changes their sump pump, adjusts the height of it or something, all of a sudden it's coming out, you don't see it. So it's a constant battle in all towns.
Okay. That was my only question.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? No. Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you.
Mr. Zengo.
Yep, thank you. A couple items. Number one, I'm in the process of closing out 2022's records. Hopefully by the end of the week, everything will be finalized. And then last one is resolution for purchase and installation of pumps at the Tallyard Pump Station through a co-op. That's it.
Any questions for Mr. Zengo?
I do, Mr. Zango. The one for the pump station, is that coming out of the bond that we took out, or is that separate? Last year's bond, okay. Is that bond almost, have we spent it almost, all of it?
I think there's a little bit left. Spent some. I think it's about 100,000 left.
Okay, because this is 100,000.
Yeah, I think we've got 2 all the work already, so I think it's about 100 or 85,000 left, I believe.
Okay.
Thank you. Mrs. Soares?
Yes, Mayor. We're working on the 2023 calendars right now, and we're hoping to have them in by the end of January, early February. That's all I have, Mayor.
And that will also have a January of 2024 on it also?
Yes.
Okay, because surprised when you flipped it over, there was 2023 in January, so that was a good thing. Okay. Chief?
Mayor, I don't have anything to report.
Okay, very good. Okay, any questions for the chief? No? Mr. Soares? No? To our clerk, anything to report?
No, I have nothing.
By the way, I asked a question. How are we doing concerning the referendum? As I understand this referendum, which is coming up on January the
24th.
24th. Okay, that the town is going to be running it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where are the poll workers coming from?
The way that it normally is, where both parties get their own poll workers, and then they go to their polling places like it normally is. Everything is run the same way as every other election.
And they've been told this?
Yes, they got their poll workers already, and they gave me the list of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. And so when somebody goes into, say, the VFW, there will be 3 machines there?
I believe there's only going to be one machine for every polling district. I don't think they're going to have separate ones. I don't believe that's what they told me.
So they'll have separate districts,
Mm-hmm. And they all go to
one machine?
Yes.
Okay. Just asking, because
Yeah.
people are asking me, how is this going to work? Is there going to be mail-ins?
Yep, they sent out the mail-in ballots. The drop box was open today. So same process as
Has
normal.
anyone gotten a mail-in? Okay.
They told me that they were sent out in
Okay.
the beginning of January, so
At the beginning of January? Well, it's
very cutting it
January.
close. But
Yes, but,
yeah.
okay, all right. So
I have a quick question. Is it going to be all 4 polling locations?
Yes. All the same polling locations as normal.
Okay.
But only 4 machines. So, okay. All right, thank you.
Mhm.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the questions that have been asked about the referendum coming up. To our legal eagle, anything?
The only thing I have tonight Mayor, is that I'm happy to report that we closed and we finally sold 6-8 Reed Street. That was Block 152, Lot 16. They completed the closing today, so we should be receiving the funds there too.
Okay, very good. Mr.
Oh.
BA?
The only thing
Yep, hang on. I think there's a question, yes?
I have a quick question. The code book, the recodification, what is the status on that?
I am working with Art, and we are getting feedback from all of the department heads to figure out what is actually your current practices, and then we're gonna go from there.
Okay.
So we're about, I would say 35 to 40% finished.
Okay.
Very good. Yes.
Mr. Zanger reported on whatever I was going to report on.
Okay, very good then.
And the
So,
reason for that repair, by the way, is people are still putting everything and anything down their toilets, and it just chewed up the entire pumping station. That's why we have to spend $100,000 to replace most of the equipment.
only certain things go down the toilet, people. That's why there are garbage cans. So, moving on to the governing bodies, comments on matters great and small. We haven't had any meetings, but anything to report, Mr. Gindi?
The upcoming meeting for the Municipal Alliance will be held on January 26th at 6 p.m. right here. I know one of the topics is going to be the chili cook-off, which we have a proposed date of March 25th, which is a Saturday. The site is yet to be announced. That's all I got.
Very good. Mr. Oliveira?
Just again, wanted to wish everyone a happy new year. Basketball and wrestling matches, games and matches have begun in the first week of January. Registration for competition cheer has closed, and we had 48 registrants for competition cheer. And again, that's a great number considering this is the first time we're actually doing a full-blown cheer program. And we finally were able to open up cheer gymnastics. So if you're interested in registering for that, please go online or stop by the rec office. And that's all I have, Mayor.
What is that called?
The cheer gymnastics registration.
Thank you. Mr. Gruchensky?
Thank you, Mayor. First off, on the Office on Aging, we have a retirement. Donna Frick, our longtime exercise and yoga instructor, has relocated and will no longer be teaching in South River. Right now, they are going through their physical activity program and restructuring quite a few things. They have a yoga class going with Dylan. Forgive me, Dylan. It's going to be a chair yoga class. It's on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. The monthly mingle, you could pre-register for that, which is going to be on the 27th of January at the Human Services. It's $5 and limited space, and at 12 p.m. That's pretty much all I have right now, Mayor. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Councilwoman?
I did attend the Board of Education reorganization meeting on Monday, January 2nd. Congratulations to Mr. Nielsen, Ms. Urbanik, Mr. Basak, and Ms. Youngyao. They were all reelected back on the board. I look forward to attending their meetings. I'd also like to remind everyone, just like you did, Mr. Mayor, that the library's 100-year celebration will happen on January 12th at 6:30 p.m. at the library. Since there was really no agenda session, could I ask a question regarding the first ordinance?
Sure, but just to jump back about the library, actually, it's not going to be the celebration, as I
No, it's
understand
to
it.
kick off the
It's to
celebration.
kick off the 100 years that
Correct.
we're having it, because I was kind of wondering, it was like,
So,
what was happening, but no, it's to kick off the 100-year celebration, so every month there will be something going on.
because the library was open, the old library on Main Street was open on January 10th, 23, that's why we're kicking it off on January 12th. They're going to have some cake, and they will release the contest winner for the tote bags for the 100th year celebration.
Okay, yes. And yes, you can ask a question about the,
I'm just curious on the first ordinance of the year, what we changed. Who put up the ordinance?
Mr.
Minimum maximum were changed, like with the 4-year agreements for the unions that was, non-union that was passed. Salaries will now fall in this range. Some of them would have been out of the range after year 2. Every 4 years, we usually do a salary range that covers the union contracts and the non-union residents.
Okay. Those were the only ones that were changed?
Yeah, almost every single title was changed to the maximum because it's got to be within the range when you approve it. 4-year union contracts were approved. Their ranges in year 2, 3, and 4 were going to be outside what the old ordinance said. So this now corrects the salary range for all the unions and the non-union that was already approved.
Okay, was the Borough Council changed?
That was changed last time.
That was last time. It wasn't touched this time. Okay, and then the other ones that you said, I'm thinking it's the non-union ones that we just put minimum wage. Is
Yeah,
that
we changed that now because it kept changing by $1 every year.
Every
So
year.
theoretically, we should have been probably coming in front of the council every time it changed. How do we say minimum wage every time the state's dollar increase for the next 2 years? We don't have to change it.
okay? Because I believe next year will be when it hits 15. Okay.
But that's also going to have to change every year thereafter, isn't it?
Well, if it says minimum wage and the state stays at 15, then we're at minimum wage.
Yeah, but
So we've always
it's
paid-
not going to.
No, well, if it changes and goes lower, then well, actually, if it still says minimum wage and the state changes theirs, we just keep it as minimum.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
why we did it like that, instead of having to change it every time they make an adjustment.
Yeah, because after it becomes 15, then it becomes automatic. People have forgotten about that constitutional amendment. Okay, anything else, Councilwoman?
And I just want to ask if we could read separate 27, 28, and 61. That's it.
Okay. Thank you. Council President Seula?
The only thing, we haven't had any meetings yet this year. Our first meeting will be on January the 18th for the EDC, and at that time there, they'll be doing a rework.
Okay,
That's it.
very good. I attended the January 1st reorganization of our meeting here and worked out very well. The only thing I'll add is we are going to pool in our consent resolutions 51, 52, 53, 54, because those are mayoral appointments, and that's will be where they are. We're going to amend 36. You already have that one. Separate 27, 28, 61. Are there any other ones to be read separate? Okay. Hearing none, then we will go to the next part of the agenda, which is public comments. You'll have 10 minutes. Please come forward. You can make any comments, suggestions, ask questions. Please give your name and address. On first call, second call.
Richard Byrne, Bissett Place. I was going to say on 51, there's a typo in Sergio's name. It's Rego, O at the end of his name.
Okay.
Amend that.
That's right.
And are you reviewing the borough code for readoption?
Yes, for recodification.
Okay, yeah. I have a couple of ideas, like making the junior member on the environmental commission concurrent with the school year rather than a calendar year. Which would make, but there's a couple of things that we'd like to suggest. When is this going to be done by?
Email. Can you email me your suggestions?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we go by chapter, and we discuss them with the department heads, and we figure out, and I review for legality, but just email me and I will include your comments.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Cradaville. I'm the Central Jersey organizer at Food and Water Watch, our New Jersey office in New Brunswick. And I want to apologize for missing the reorg, but I did watch it, and I appreciate all of you and your positivity for your community. I'm again here to ask you for your help in stopping an environmental injustice that would affect your residents and detrimentally affect their quality of life, making it harder to breathe for all of us in central New Jersey. Of course, I'm talking about the plans for a enormous new gas power plant on the Raritan in the Casby section of Woodbridge. Spoken about it a number of times, so I feel like I don't need to belabor the point, but there's already 10 elected governing bodies that have come out against this, and I wanted to ask the mayor and council here if you're willing to pass a resolution voicing opposition and calling on the state to reject this dirty energy project.
This is going to produce electricity, isn't it?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Lindensky, it was on Christmas Eve that the PMJ requested that we inform the people that they should cut back on their electricity use.
Right.
In the summer, Californians were told, please stop using as much electricity as they were doing, including their cars. Don't recharge them because there wasn't enough electricity. Christmas Eve, we were asked to inform the people to use less electricity because they're concerned about the grid. There isn't enough electricity. How is it going to be provided?
I'm not privy to your conversations with PJM. What I can say is that PJM has not endorsed or approved this project. In fact, PSE&G, who I believe you get your supply from, has out of the gas power plant business. They've sold off their assets in that regard and are pursuing cleaner strategies for producing the energy that we need. And quite frankly, the only folks that are supporting this are the company that wants to build it, which is controlled by an overseas entity, and the Township of Woodbridge, which stands to collect in lieu of taxes. While I certainly understand we all want to be able to have electricity when we turn the lights on, this is not the best way to do it. Certainly, you can, already see the negative impacts of air pollution. Middlesex County gets consistently an F rating from the American Lung Association for ground level ozone. We see tremendous numbers of childhood asthma, COPD, other health impacts. So, that to me is not worth it. I think there's got to be, better ways to pursue this, and building an enormous piece of infrastructure that locks us into using that for decades is something that we will likely come to regret. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm happy to answer any questions. I'll certainly look into this, what PJM said about South River and Christmas Eve, but to my knowledge, there is not currently any shortfall in generation capacity. What the issue is often is the transmission system, which is antiquated and does need to be improved for sure.
Yes. And so I did not ask the people to use electricity, but that is a concern about the amount of electricity that we have. And if we're not going to have enough, what are we going to do in the summer months? And that's a problem. We need to do more electricity. When it comes to climate change and increases and all of that, my view is I'm against pollution. I agree. If we can do something better than have a smokestack belching out smoke, I'm all in favor of it. That's why I support nuclear. But there are many people who don't support nuclear. As somebody pointed out, we shut down our nuclear power plant for whatever reason, because I guess it was getting old and nobody wanted to upgrade it. But it's now people look askance. Oh, it's nuclear. Yes, but it's also clean, and the smokestacks don't produce pollution. So until we can find a better way of producing electricity, the people, the moment that, everybody's in favor of clean air and, all of this new technology, great, until you tell them to shut their air conditioners off, and then there's hell to pay. So that's where it's going to stand unless there's a great movement on the council to go forward. I don't see us voting on this at all.
Thank you for your honesty, and I do appreciate your position. I'm glad that we agree pollution is worthy of opposing and no good for the people of this borough. I have shared with you the list of all the pollutants and the amounts that are proposed by this foreign entity and what they want to put into our atmosphere. And I will add that there's been no needs assessment done to say that this is necessary. And it's hard for me with our resources to disprove the need. Obviously, there's anecdotal, situations where people do lose power. It's usually not anything to do with generation capacity. But, what I would say is that until the needs assessment is done, it really doesn't make any sense for the leaders of the county or anybody in this area to be supporting or backing this. And I would encourage everybody to look deeper into it. I think that if you do the research, you'll come to the same conclusion that we have, that this is bad for our community. And you may not know this, or you may already know this, but there's already 6 fossil fuel power plants here in Middlesex County. So we have more than our fair share. We're already breathing in more than our fair share of pollution, and we're producing electricity for areas well beyond our borders, outside of the county and outside of the state. And this project would double down on that and worsen those impacts and lock us in to being the epicenter of energy generation to the detriment of our. I am asking you to consider this, and I would love to hear from other members of the council. If you feel some type of way about this, to please reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone has, and I'll continue to make myself available with information, and hope that you will consider this on behalf of our 73,000 members. We're asking you to oppose this, and hope that you'll see it in the best interest of your residents to take a stand. And you'll be joining some great leaders in Edison, Highland Park, Hoboken, Perth Amboy, Franklin, Sayreville, Galway, South Brunswick, as well as the Somerset County Commissioners. Would ask all of you to look into the issue and take that stand.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else on first call, second call?
Evening. My name is Danielle Oswald, 16 Garfield. Today I'm here to talk to you about the Education Foundation. The South River Foundation for Educational Excellence is a 501c3 for the highest level of education innovation, supporting students, faculty, and staff with community involvement and a partnership. As a founding member and the current president of SRP, we are volunteers to bring our organization forward. By March 15th of 2023. That is a deadline that's coming up. Yet, we are back for our 6th annual dinner dance. We're still moving forward. And our 6th annual dinner dance is going to be honoring Ray Bazak, Camilla Mazio, who will be in the ballroom on Friday, February 3rd, 2023. Dinner, beer, wine. There will be dancing, there will be $1 per person through members and are all our and also want to alert the council of another. I've been working on a organization does. It's a local chapter of the National Support Families of Police Officers that are killed in for our borough, as Brian added to that, was at a board meeting for Garden City Concerns in July, and I got to meet her and talk to her there. So there's another fundraiser that I wanted to at least alert you about to help support that organization.
You can also get to your website by way of Facebook.
For
Yeah.
SRP or me, or I can email.
I'm doing free advertising for you because that's, okay.
Mayor,
And
can we put a flyer on TV 35?
wasn't one already done?
I think it's been added to the website.
Yeah, it's added to the website. Your second matter that you talked about, you said that there was going to be a fundraiser, but you didn't say the date or time or anything like
Sorry,
that?
that's March 31st.
March 31st?
In Neptune,
Okay,
and I can show you.
okay, that's fine. All right, thank you. Anyone else on first call, second call, third call?
Motion to close?
Second.
Motion has been made to close by Councilman Gindi, seconded by Council President Siula. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. We have our mayoral appointments, which I've already spoken about, and then we have many consent resolutions, of which 3 will be read separately. Madam Clerk, take a deep breath.
Whereas Resolution 2023-1 authorizes the Borough Council to utilize a consent agenda to adopt various resolutions of a routine and non-controversial nature at one time. Now therefore be it and is hereby resolved that the below listed resolutions are hereby adopted by the Borough Council in whole as if the same were individually acted upon. Consent Resolutions 2311 to 2362. 11, accept December 19, 2022 regular meeting minutes. 12, authorize the Borough Clerk to administer all 2023 legal games of chance licenses. 13, approve NJLM conference attendance. 14, cash management plan. 15, signatories on financial documents. 16, interest on delinquent taxes. 17, authorize execution of NJDEP sanitary sewer extension applications. 18, appoint Borough Auditor. 19, appoint Public Defender. 20, appoint Special Tax Counsel. 21, appoint Bond Counsel. 22, appoint Employment Labor Counsel. 23, appoint Electrical Engineer. 24, appoint Insurance Risk Manager. 25, appoint Health Benefits Risk Manager. 26, appoint Information Technology Services. 29, appoint Middlesex County Transportation Coordinating Committee Representative, Mayor Designee. 30, appoint Public Safety Compliance Officer. 31, appoint Middlesex County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund Representatives. 32, appoint Central Jersey Health Insurance Fund Commissioners. 33, appoint Board of Health members. 34, appoint Cultural Arts and Heritage Commission member. 35, appoint members to Municipal Alliance. 36, appoint Planning Board member. 37, appoint Zoning Board of Adjustment members. 38, appoint Watershed Management Area 9 representative. 39, appoint Middlesex County Urban Forestry Advisory Committee representative. 40, appoint Public Power Association of New Jersey representative. 40, authorize power purchase and sale agreements. 42, appoint Middlesex County Solid Waste Advisory Committee representative. 43, appoint 2023 school crossing guards. 44, appoint Special Law Enforcement Officers Class 1. 45, appoint Special Law Enforcement Officers Class 3. 46, appoint Local Emergency Planning Committee. 47, appoint Recycling Coordinator. 48, appoint South River Free Public Library Board of Trustee members. 49, appoint Fire Police for South River Fire Department. 50, appoint member to Economic Development Commission. 55, appoint members to Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. 56, appoint Cable Television Advisory Board member. 57, resolution authorizing certain utility refunds. 58, authorizing the requisition of funds for payment to the custodian of the school monies. 59, authorizing the purchase of rock salt. 60, authorizing the purchase and installation of pumps at the Tile Yard Pump Station. And 62, authorize the bills and claims list.
Your pleasure on the
Motion to move on the consent
resolution.
resolutions.
Motion has been made by Mr. Gindi,
Second.
seconded by Council President Siula. Roll call.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Kurczynski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
One quick question, Mayor. The new resolution for 36, is that because you're not appointing the other 3 members that were on the list before, or?
No, because those are a mayoral appointment only without the consent of the council. So
Okay.
those 3 have been appointed. They were appointed by way of the mayoral appointments. And then it's simply the governing body is appointing their member to the planning board.
Okay. Yes?
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
Council President Siula?
Yes, with number 62, extension from 22-03159, 02734, 02942, 02280, 02204, and 02284.
There's, you made a good point. It's not on the agenda, but it should be on the agenda.
I was gonna say, where do we find the mayoral's
Those 3
appointments?
should be
Okay.
added, like a number 63, onto mayoral appointments.
Okay.
Those planning board, those
Okay.
3 class 4 members, right.
Okay.
Because we removed the other ones, but not there, because that's not under mayoral
The
appointments.
original resolution
Yeah,
was the same? Okay.
No, he wants you to add another heading under the mayoral appointments for
planning board appointments.
planning board,
Okay.
for the class 4 members.
And then I was just gonna ask, the library ones aren't mayoral appointments as well? Or they have to be with consent of council?
I can look that up. I mean, either way, you adopted it, so they're appointed. But I'll look it up and I will let you know.
I think we had this discussion once before.
I think we did too, and I think it's a mayor appointment, and I just missed that.
Yeah,
But either way, the person is appointed.
yeah, the library board of trustees. Check on that. And then we'll get ready for 2024 then. Okay. So then we go to number 27.
Do you want me to read the whole thing, or does someone going to make a motion for?
Make a motion.
Okay.
We're just making a motion to read it by title only, right?
Sure.
Okay. Does anybody want a second? Okay.
Well, normally what happens is
You have to read it.
you begin reading it, the whole thing, and then somebody makes a motion. I move to waive the full reading. That is seconded. We vote on it, and then that's how it's done. So proceed to read, and Councilwoman Mara will make the motion.
And it was 27, right?
Right.
Resolution 2327, resolution authorizing the award of contract for water quality testing services. We're
Move
at-
to waive the full reading?
Second.
Motion has been made by Councilwoman Mara, seconded by Councilman Olivera. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Your pleasure on the ordinance. Somebody now moves the ordinance, excuse me, the resolution. Move the resolution.
Motion to move the resolution.
Motion has been made to move the resolution by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mr. Olivera. Discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I asked for this one to be read separate along with 28, just because they are both for the same thing. How are we doing this? Are we choosing which one we're using for our services of water quality testing services, or?
Councilwoman, we have been, for the last couple of years, appointing both of them. Reason for that being Agra, right now with our consulting and our plant operator. And they're doing the sampling and the lab work. Our intention is to go out for advertisement for our own employee to be the plant operator this year. Once we do that, we would switch then to precision analytical because Agra would not be needed anymore after that.
Okay, so we still need Agra, but we're appointing both, because later on we won't.
We're appointing both because if we do find an operator, we will start doing the sampling, and then Precision will be picking up the samples and doing them from the treatment plant where they will pick them up, and they will be doing the testing.
Okay. But for the last few years, we haven't used them at all, correct? We've been
Correct.
just using Agra.
We have been trying to get an operator for the last 2 years. There are very few and far in between. The ones we had tried to, had jobs and were happy where they were.
Okay.
We prefer to have our own operator because we'd like to start doing repairs. And that's one of the job descriptions, is that he'd be the supervisor and he would have to have knowledge of being able to do water main breaks, fire hydrant repairs, valve repairs.
Okay.
The search continues.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. If there's no one else, roll call.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Krasinski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
Council President Siula?
Yes.
Resolution has been adopted. Resolution 2023-28.
Resolution 2023-28, resolution authorizing the award of contract for water quality testing services. Whereas the boroughs.
Waive the full reading.
Second.
Motion has been made to waive the full reading by Councilwoman Mera, seconded by Councilman Olivera. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Your pleasure on the resolution.
Move the resolution.
Resolution has been moved by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mr. Olivera. Discussion?
They answered my question, so.
Very
We can
good.
vote.
If there's nothing else, roll call.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Krasinski?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
Council President Siula?
Yes.
The resolution has been adopted. Resolution 61.
Resolution 2023-61, resolution establishing South River Pop Warner as a borough-recognized youth sport organization and authorizing the execution of a grant agreement with the South River Pop Warner.
Motion to waive the full reading.
Motion
Second.
has been made by Mr. Gindi to waive the full reading, seconded by Mr. Gerchensky. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Your pleasure on the resolution.
Motion to move the resolution.
Motion has been made to move the resolution by Mr. Gindi.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Gerchensky. Discussion?
Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate Pop Warner to, I believe this is the first nonprofit organization that has been awarded this grant, correct?
Yep.
And I hope that other organizations in the borough do move forward and apply for this grant so that their fees are waived for the usage of our fields. That's all. The only reason I wanted this to be read separately. Congratulations to Pop Warner, and this is effective for the whole. Excuse me, the whole year or calendar year or season.
It's the whole year.
Technically, it's not just, well, it's the whole year, but they don't have to submit an entirely new application. Once they're recognized, that continues as long as they keep us updated annually with their documentation. So they have to provide us proof that they're continuing to operate as a nonprofit, their list of participants, those type of things. And as long as they continue to update their documents with us, they don't actually have to go through the full application process over and over and over again.
Okay, good. Well, that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Roll call.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Gerchensky?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Councilman Olivera?
Yes.
Council President Siula?
Yes.
Okay, the resolution has been adopted. There's nothing under new business, governing body comments. Well, Councilwoman
Mayor, if I may, just
Yes.
before we get into governing body comments, I just looked it up. It is advice and consent of council for the library board of trustees, so
Okay.
that resolution
Good.
is fine.
Excellent. Councilwoman Mara.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to, once again, start off the year good. Happy New Year to all. I think our meetings would run a little smoother if we actually use the agenda session in our agenda session part of the meeting. Just because, you know, as this becomes the only time I actually see what you guys put up here, it's easier if we discuss it so that I don't have to read it separately or have us all read it separately to get things done. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gerchensky.
Thank you, Mayor. First off, I'd like to thank our public safety people, our police, fire, Robert Wood Johnson, and our DPW for keeping us in order. And with that, I have not much more to say. It's been hopefully a better year. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Oliveira.
Yeah, one of the things I forgot to mention for the Rec Advisory Board is we do have a meeting tomorrow, and it's going to be on Reed Street, so if anyone is interested, you know, we reorganized the board. We're going to be talking about summer rec, spring registration, so again, everyone's more than welcome to come out and just be a part of that conversation. And, you know, it is starting to get, we did have some beautiful days out, but it is starting to get colder. Please be mindful of that, and just please be careful for the kids. We are a walking town, and we do see a lot of kids walking in the morning, so please be mindful of that. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Mr. Gindi.
All I have is Happy New Year. Welcome back. We have a great year, a lot of projects, a lot of activities. Hope to see everybody out and working with us to make it happen. That's all I got.
Thank you. Council President Seula.
The only thing I have is, again, with this cold weather that we had, please keep an eye on your neighbors. Look out for them, especially our seniors. Make sure everything's okay. That's all I have, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Wish Happy New Year to all. I do request out of the liaisons to the various organizations and committees and commissions and such that you get a list of the members and give them to the clerk so that we can find out who's on these various commissions and committees and such, and able to help us with that, because we're trying to figure out who's on what and who's active and who is not, because there's a lot of people there whose names are there but never go to the meetings, so we want to know that. A thought before we go into close. If we are not careful, our colleges will produce a group of closed-minded, unscientific, illogical protagonists consumed with immoral acts. Be careful, brethren. Be careful, teachers. That was from The Purpose of Education, from the Morehouse College student newspaper, The Maroon Tiger, in 1947, written by Martin Luther King Jr. As we celebrate Dr. King's Day, let us remember his work and what he tried to do and emulate the great man. If there's nothing else to come before us on anything else, then we are going into executive session. We will not be doing anything afterwards, so essentially the meeting will have come to an end. Thank you for attending. Madam Clerk.
Resolution 2023-63, whereas Section 8 of Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, permits the exclusion of the general public from a meeting of the governing body under certain circumstances, and whereas the mayor and council of the Borough of South River are of the opinion such circumstances presently exist, now therefore be it and is hereby resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of South River in the county of Middlesex of the state of New Jersey that the public be excluded upon the hereinafter specific subject matter, and that such subject matter to be so discussed is as follows: contract negotiations. Be it further resolved that such record of the above discussion will be made public when confidentiality is no longer required.
Okay.
Motion.
Motion has been made by Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mr. Gerchensky. Roll call.
Councilman Gindi?
Yes.
Councilman Korchensky?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mira?
Yes.
Councilman Oliveira?
Yes.
Council President Seula?
Yes.
All right, then. We shall return eventually.
I don't feel like I'm
Mr. Gindi, seconded by Mr. Seula. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. Is there anything else to come before us? Hearing none, may I have a motion to adjourn?
To adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Gindi.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Gerczynski. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? The ayes have it. We stand adjourned until the 23rd of January.